Thank you, Mr. President. Director General of the International Labour Organization. The Central Organization of Trade Unions of Kenya that I represent welcomes the Director General's report, which focuses on the least developed countries, LDCs, at a time when the world of work is faced with multiple challenges of enormous proportions. These challenges, which include the COVID-19 pandemic, the conflict in Ukraine, and the climate crisis, have all worsened socioeconomic conditions in many least developed countries. This has happened despite the existence of the elaborate political and development initiatives agreed by our member states at both national, regional, and multilateral levels, targeted at uplifting the living standards and general well-being of our people. The development targets and commitments made in the last 4 UN conferences on least developed countries have largely remained unmet, while prospects of achieving the 17 targets of the 2030 for sustainable development appear increasingly remote. Mr. President, under circumstances and as noted in the Director General's report, we remain concerned that our organization's often stated resolve of leaving no one behind is now being put into serious doubt. Clearly, therefore, business as usual for least developed countries and indeed the entire International Labour Organization membership cannot continue to be the norm. Mr. President, a departure from structural transformation of our economies is imperative, and the proposals of the upcoming 5th UN Conference on least developed countries and its plan of action is timely. The enabling elements that include investing in people, leveraging on science, technology and innovation, addressing climate change, recovery from COVID-19 pandemic, mobilizing international solidarity and achieving gender equality are elements worth of our attention as they respond to key challenges and decent work deficits in the least developed countries. Mr. President, although many countries do not appear in the category of least developed countries, they nevertheless manifest characteristics highlighted in the Director General's report and should therefore find value in undertaking structural transformation of the economies. In Kenya, the high youth unemployment rate has seen many of them opt to take up migrant jobs in foreign countries, often under illicit contracting processes, thus exposing them to exploitation by unscrupulous agents and employers. As workers, we are opposed to this modern-day slavery and do call upon our own government, Kenya government, to harness the full potential of promoting foreign labor migration by emphasizing on government-to-government bilateral agreements as opposed to using unscrupulous and disorganized employment agencies. Ladies and gentlemen, these challenges have persisted despite the existence of policy frameworks like Vision 2030 and Big Four Agenda, whose main focus have been increasing employment opportunities through expanded manufacturing, universal and affordable health coverage, attaining food security, and expanding affordable housing as anchored on a very progressive constitutional framework. Mr. President, currently many workers' organizations, including COTU Kenya, have been weakened through reduction of membership and resource bases following the impact of COVID-19 pandemic and rampant unfair labor practices, which has caused massive layoffs. We therefore call upon the International Labour Organization to increase technical cooperation programs targeting the strengthening of the capacities of workers' organizations and their members in order to engage productively with governments and employers. In conclusion, Mr. President, structural transformation of our economy cannot be realized if government does not take a deliberate and conscious policy measures to uplift the welfare of those in precarious jobs and informal sector. I thank you.